This generation says, I want to live for something radically different. I want to live for something that will change the world. They're saying to us, there is greatness on the inside of me. Why will nobody affirm that? I had folks that affirmed that in me. They told me, John, you can do anything you want to do. If you pursue it, you set your heart to it, you can obtain it. And in God, don't shoot for the moon, son. Shoot for the stars. You can do and accomplish anything for God He calls you and tells you to do. And I'm not even part of this emerging generation. But we need moms and dads like what my mom and dad was, what like I intend to be, like you want to be, affirming these deep places in the hearts of our generation. One of the things that scares me and just affirms to me that this is an end-time scenario. This is not life as it's always been. Folks, we got to wake up. And I know many of you are here today because you are woke up. And I'm echoing your heart. So I'm not meaning to condescend to you or preach down to you. But if nothing else, affirm what you know. But if you don't know this, we need to wake up to it. That this is an end-time scenario. We're coming to the close of earth life as we have known it. Every generation that is on the earth is one generation closer to the return of Jesus. The gospel that threatened the kingdoms of the nations and caused Rome to murder the Christians is the Christians were saying, there is a king who is returning. And when he returns, our allegiance is with him more than it's with you. And we have lost that message. We have forgotten that we are a part of another kingdom. Like what Paul says, we are strangers and aliens in this land. At best, we are ambassadors for Christ. But we have dumbed it down where we are of no threat to the nations, no threat to the principalities and powers. We have learned to cope. Rather than to live by kingdom culture, we have adjusted to earth culture, and we've lost our voice. And a generation now is given into our hands to our generation, but our generation has lost its voice because we have pursued everything other than the kingdom. So not only is there a call upon this generation to be the sons and daughters, the army of God, the radical, extreme people they were designed to be, but that the call is to us as moms and dads, and maybe you don't have kids, but you're a part of a local fellowship where those young people will look to you as a spiritual mom and dad, is that there are adjustments God is making in our generation as well. And Corey touched on it last night, that this generation needs to see modeled and exampled in us the kind of fire and commitment that they are being called to, because they will act like us. Maybe not today, but tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow, but when they're 30, because we are the example of what a on-fire believer looks like at the ages of 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. And should they reach those ages, we're their model. We are what has been imprinted into their hearts and minds. So not only do they need to answer the call, we need to answer the call. The call of this generation is clearly to be fully discipled. Not discipled like you and I have been discipled, but truly discipled. And discipleship is a progress of God's grace in the life of someone who has chosen to serve Jesus. So I'd like to just touch on some things this morning about discipleship. Now, most of us in our generation were very adversely affected by a discipleship message. It got twisted and got called a shepherding message, where people wanted to control and manipulate us. There are some aspects to discipleship that are very much authoritative. So those of us who have been adversely affected by discipleship or shepherding in the past, we vitally need to get healed. Because if we are still carrying around our old baggage, we will not lead our kids into the life